Hello and welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman, and in this lesson we're going to learn how to play the A section of a piece that I composed called Harvest Dance. When I composed Harvest Dance, I was imagining people from times past, maybe gathering together in the village square to celebrate harvest time with good food, good company, and dancing. Let's have a listen to Harvest Dance. Here's the score for Harvest Dance. Will you take just a few seconds and just tell me what you notice in the score? And as you're talking, try to use real music vocabulary. Like, don't just say, oh, I see a bunch of those little thingy symbols. Say, oh, I see a lot of sharp symbols. Use your real music words. Tell me what you notice. With the new piece, I'm always checking out my clefs first, treble and bass, and my time signature. Looks like we'll have 4 beats per measure. As I already clued you into, there are a lot of sharps, so we know we'll have some key with a lot of sharps in it. And you may have noticed lots of dynamic symbols. We've got forte, we've got mezzo piano, mezzo forte. We've also got slur markings everywhere and lots of staccati. You may have noticed that there are no lyrics in this piece, and that's why I'm calling it a piece. Remember, a song is something you sing that has words or lyrics. When there's something you play on an instrument without words, that's generally called a piece. Now, let's see if we can figure out which pentascale we're in. Let's just look at these first few notes. Can you pause the video and say the letter names for these first 6 notes? And then on your piano, see if you can figure out what pentascale that is. Okay, the notes are C sharp, A sharp, F sharp, G sharp, then another A sharp, which we've already had, and a B. And if you put all of those together, what pentascale do we have? That's our F sharp major pentascale. Now let's break these notes down into little groups. Taking these first 3 notes, we start on that C sharp. How are these notes moving? You'll see we have a skip down, skip down. Can you turn that into solfege? It starts on so, then what? That's a so, mi, do. Then what are the next 3 notes doing? They're stepping up. So we have re, mi, fa, so, mi, do, re, mi, fa. Now can you tell me what's happening on these next 4 notes? Tell me the step, skips, repeats. We'll say start here. If you said start, step down, step up, skip up, that's a skip up of a third, you're correct. What would that be in solfege? If we have fa, then mi, re, mi, so. Now, when you have a long slur mark like this, we often call that a phrase mark. Phrase marks are a special kind of slur that show a musical sentence. You'll notice all of these notes kind of fit together in a musical idea. Listen. That's a musical idea or sentence with a beginning, middle, and end. And now listen to the next musical idea. Did you notice how this first phrase kind of asks a question? Listen. Because it goes up at the end like that, it almost sounds like the music is asking a question, and here's the answer. See, it started out the same way. Measure 3 is the same as measure 1, but then when you get to measure 4, the notes all step down, which sounds like it's giving the answer. That's called a question and answer phrase. This phrase mark goes off the edge of the line. They just couldn't fit all 4 measures on one line, so the phrase carries over into measure 4 here. Now let's come to the piano and try to play it. All right. On the piano here, I've got the F sharp major pentascale. Can you tell me each note's letter name? We'll call the first one F sharp. Now you tell me the rest. The correct answer is F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp. Now with your right hand, let's find that pentascale, F sharp major. And can we play and name each note again with, say the letter names? Go. F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp. Now I'd like you to figure out measures 1 through 4 on your own. A couple of clues for you. Watch carefully the changes of directions in the steps and the skips. We start off with these 3 notes skipping down, so, mi, do. Then a few notes stepping up, re, mi, fa. There's a couple of changes of direction, but if you just use your eyes and follow along in the score, it will guide your fingers. Can you pause the video now and practice measures 1 through 4, and then press play and we'll look at it together. Okay, now, you're welcome to try playing along with me, or if you'd rather just listen, that's fine too. I'll count 4 beats, and then I'll start for measures 1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now, if that sounds like what you played, great. Otherwise, feel free to pause and work on it a little bit more. Now, if you're feeling comfortable with that, let's look at the left hand part. The left hand is playing chords. Let's look at this first chord. Bottom note, we have an F sharp, and then that skips up to A sharp, and then the top note is a C sharp. That builds our 1 chord in the key of F sharp major. Can you try to play that chord with your left hand on your piano? Play the 1 chord. Now that takes care of measure 1. Now notice in measure 2, we have a new chord. The bottom note is still F sharp, but the middle note of the chord stepped up to B. The top note of the chord stepped up to D sharp. See how now that top note's on the space above the middle C line, so we know it's a D with the sharp for D sharp. This is our 4 chord in the key of F sharp major. That's the 4 chord. For fingering on the 4 chord, the correct fingering for the left hand is to use a finger 2. Why is that? Because you'll notice if you play a 1 chord, your finger 2 is already on the B. So all you have to do is just slide your finger 1 over and boom, you're in your 2 chord. I do not recommend that you use the finger 3. That is not considered the most efficient fingering, okay? And I want you to always use the most efficient fingering. So even if it feels easier to use a 3, don't do it. I want you to train your finger 2 to help out, because you'll see that my hand doesn't have to move as much. It's just scooting my finger 1 over 1 key to get that the 4 chord, with my finger 2 playing the B. Let's practice this transition. Just practice going from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. Use your finger 2 on the 4 chord. That's the correct fingering. Pause the video and just practice going back and forth between those 2 chords, and then press play, and we'll try and add it into the piece. Now, let's try the left-hand chords using the correct rhythms from the piece, Harvest Dance. We start with the 1 chord, and we're going to hold that for 4 beats. Let's try this together. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Now, in measure 2, we have 2 beats for this half note on the 4 chord, and then 2 beats on the 1 chord. Let's try it. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try measure 2 again. So 2 beats on the 4 chord, 2 beats on the 1 chord. Here we go with measure 2, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go on to measure 3. Now 4 beats on the 1 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Now look at measure 4. This is just like measure 2. We have 2 beats on the 4 chord, 2 beats on the 1 chord. Let's try it, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now we had lots of pausing. This time let's do no pausing. We're going to do measures 1 through 4. Count the beat with me, and we're going to play the left-hand part. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now let's hear what that will sound like hands together with the right-hand part. Now, I'll leave it up to you. If you feel like you're ready to try it hands together now, pause the video and you can work on it hands together. Or if you'd like to take a couple of days to work the right hand alone and the left hand alone, and then try the hands together in a day or 2, that's fine as well. Your choice to pause, work hands together. Otherwise, we can keep going. Now, let's check out measures 5 through 8. I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can figure out what's happening here. Look at the notes and see if you can identify any patterns. Is this a new section, or how is it similar to what we've had before, and how is it different? Pause the video, answer those questions, and then press play, and we'll talk about it together. Okay, hopefully you noticed that now the melody, which used to be in the right hand, so, mi, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, mi, so, that same melody is now in the left hand. So, mi, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, mi, so. And then, so, mi, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. Our dynamics have changed. Now we're mezzo piano. So I should have played that a little softer. Sorry about that. And then, what is the right hand doing? The right hand is playing the same chords that the left hand was playing. So essentially, our hands have just traded jobs here. Let's come to the piano and give it a try. So now let's check out how to play the 1 and the 4 chord in the right hand. The notes are the same, but the fingering is actually a little bit different when we go from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. In the case of the right hand, I do recommend that you use finger 3 in the middle. Okay? And it's just because your hands are built opposite from each other that it works out better in the right hand to go ahead and shift all your fingers over except for your finger 1, and you use a 1, 3, 5 on these 3 pitches of the F sharp, B, D sharp. Let's try that with your right hand. Play the 1 chord, then play the 4 chord with fingers 1, 3, 5. So use 1, 3, 5 on both chords when you're doing it with the right hand. Okay, pause the video and just practice going back and forth between the 1 and 4 chord, then press play to go on. Now, what's the left hand doing? Remember, the left hand is playing the melody now. So now pause the video and give your left hand a turn to practice playing that melody, measures 5 through 8, then press play to go on. Now, like I said, it's up to you how much you feel like you're ready to try hands together today. Maybe you want to practice a little bit more hands alone first, or maybe you're ready to try it today. But for now, I'll demonstrate for you measures 1 through 8 hands together. Great work learning how to play the A section of Harvest Dance in the very fancy key of F sharp major. You know, that's so cool. I think maybe you should go brag to your mom or dad or a friend. Hey, I'm learning how to play a piece in the key of F sharp major. I don't think I learned to play anything in F sharp major until I was in college. And I'm not kidding. That is very cool. You're doing excellent work. Keep it up with your practicing every day. And as always, thanks for watching and see you next time. Scuba, why are you standing on that clock? Well, I have a piano lesson with Mr. Hoffman today, and I really want to be on time. On time? I get it. Good one, Scuba.